the Israeli Knesset passes a completely deranged Holocaust death law, which will lead to the mass execution of Palestinian hostages. And this death penalty law only applies to Palestinians, not Israelis. This is the first time a country passed a death penalty law that only applies to one ethnic group. This is probably one of the most extreme examples of the apartheid in Israel. Meanwhile, there are a lot of dipshit liberals in the West who still pretend that Israel is a democracy. Apartheid states are inherently not democracies, by the way. Many of the Palestinian prisoners that Israel keeps hostage never even had a proper trial, and many of them are children, but Israel plans to execute them all. And the very few Palestinians that do receive a trial goes to a very obviously rigged kangaroo military court where the conviction rate is over 96%. This is the same court they are going to use to determine whether a Palestinian is eligible for this death law or not. Where are all the sanctions on Israel for this brutal apartheid? Where is the West? Well, Europe is here to let you know that they are very concerned about Israel's genocidal behavior. How brave of you, Europe. These are the same people who sanction Iran for having the audacity of defending themselves. Meanwhile, Israel can pass a Holocaust law, and these European cowards are just simply concerned.
Yemenが参戦した。ついに来た。イエメンをターゲだ。They said the mountains fell. The commander of the mountain has arrived. イエメン軍を支援し前線統一への土地参した。この侵略が止まるまで。今はイランだ。すべてを叩け。Nothing has ended. イスラエルは手だぬチェジョ。我々は重い代償を払わせる。
続報です。ホルム海峡の鎖にを正規レギキーが重化しています。ビットは経過量開始日。ソロビ役はイカスのレウニューハッタイゼロかつガヤ核が非常事態を宣言。
トランプで異性のドモゼルのあなたしかいない。原野にあふれる不能性がある。これは誇張ではない。
イスラエルは以前して民間人を標的しています。ご覧のように私の背後でも。今日はパレスチナ人の死刑を承認した。イスラエルの勝利だ。人の足を打った。オーシュリーだとタシュリー票だと。フランスは参加しない。トランプはイラン撃もなく始めたということだ。米軍の動力を終わらせる時が来た。
イギリスのようにジェットン領にが西かって国かへ。きつかるたるだよ。はいぞろ。タバイロをまれたがりがもう確かつかたかったとよいに。
イスラエルはイランを潰したい。カタールもサージもクウェートも。そして成功した。マムです。前回の対応に待機のダムです。ローハゲです。そして王はいない。マガは死んだ。トランプはイスラエルに忠誠を誓った。次の大統領は親イスラエルではない。
Bro, they even had what's poppin', my friends, my family. Welcome back to the Nick and Rathbone show.
My favorite part of that was when he said, "The commander of the mountain has arrived."
Bro, this shit is better than Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, real life.
This shit, bro, you guys realize how crazy it is that the United States is even losing on the propaganda front as well? Like, this war has probably been one of the most disastrous foreign policy decisions, not only in the United States history, like in modern human history.
Yeah.
And not only are they losing favor with their NATO allies, they're losing United States bases. When have you ever seen the United States lose on the propaganda front, Rathbone?
I mean, for me, it's always, but, you know, Yeah, it's abysmal. It's a debacle, no matter which way you look at it. And Iran's troll game is very strong. But yeah, I'm here for my nightly or weekly, I should say, therapy session.
Yeah, welcome to the Nick and Rathbone show. Like I've been enjoying doing this show. This is our new Wednesday program. Big shout out to KU Tub, who've been putting out these banger videos. I said it before that I guess the only use that AI has is for anti-propaganda propaganda for the working class, because it's cheap, doesn't take a lot of energy. It's a way for us to distribute anti-war propaganda.
That's a good point. That's a good point. It's a way for us to clap back.
Yeah, think about it, because the billionaire, the capitalist class, they have infinite amount of resources. They can pay propagandists.
Yeah.
But we got people in the lab cooking.
Dude, Iran is doing such a bang up job with instilling in Americans class consciousness. Their messaging has been so on point. I love that they've always distinguished between nationalist sentiments like the United States, a country, and the Epstein class. And they're always talking about how this is a war imposed upon the Iranians as well as the Americans. And I think that's an important distinction.
Absolutely. That's absolutely important to make, especially if we want to win this like propaganda war against these Zionist monsters. Like they even had the Israeli death law. Let me go back to it. They even mentioned that. Yeah. You guys see, I was like, bro, I'm 100% doing a hotspot video about this. We never let me see if I can find it. Like, I don't want to play the video. I want to show the part where they had Ben Gavir. They had Tucker Carlson on here. They got fucking Tucker.
Look at his fingers, man. That's he's got some spider fingers.
Dude, that's actually pretty good for AI. Usually AI is horrible with fingers. So here it is. I just played this part again. Look at how brilliant this propaganda is. Well, if my computer, come on. Who's that guy?
That's like, spitting image right there. He's such a despicable monster. I think he enjoys being reviled, because every time we see him, he's just orgiastic about death.
Yeah, and I always explain to people, and Ben Gavir is definitely the absolute bottom pit of humanity. But I think one of the reasons he does what he do is because they want a fall guy. Like Ben Gavir, because I called out Eve Fartlow for this. You guys want to see this? You guys want to see this funny ratio that I achieved today? I tell you, I ratio Jewish supremacists every day. Like,
yes, I'm here for the Nick Cruz ratios. Let's go.
Oh, bro, you don't need to be so humble yourself, Rathbone, because between Nick and Rathbone, between the Nick and Rathbone show, we are racial and Jewish supremacists all over X. Like, here's Eve Fartlow. Ben Gavir is a stain on Israel. Like, girl, calm your ass down. Your politics are literally no different than a Ben Gavir. So I want to get your thoughts, like on this death penalty law, because I had to do a hotspot video on it. Utterly deranged. The first time since Nazi Germany, apparently, and the only time since that there was a country that had a death penalty law for only one ethnic group in these kangaroo courts. Do you see that story? I want to get your thoughts and your analysis on that, Rathbone.
Well, that was exactly my point that I was going to tell you. That's that this is the first time an ethnic or a social group has been singled out for death since Nazi Germany. It's just, to me, I'm like, well, I thought they were already doing that. Now, I mean, like they've already been doing this in perpetuity with impunity for so long. It's like, now they've just formalized it. It's like sort of like when the IDF formalizes their Dahaya doctrine. Well, it's like, well, they've already been doing that. They just, put a sheen on it or something, or rubber stamped it with approval. But it's utterly criminal. It's utterly despicable, and it just shows you. I mean, this isn't just Ben Gavir, just like you were saying. I mean, the whole Knesset erupted in applause and laughter and celebration. They were, clinking champagne flutes, and it's just another example of why this society is completely irredeemable.
Anyone know the response of the EU, Rathbone? I already kind of spoiled it in my hotspot video.
Yeah,
but EU,
very concerning.
No sanctions. You guys know that Canada and the UK, they're sanctioning Iran for having the audacity of defending themselves.
Yeah, it's just another example of, Israel committing crimes and the West, pearl clutching with rhetoric. And it never changes. They always offer words up to these criminal actions, So it's just more of the same, more spinelessness.
Now you got to see why I root for Russia against those fascists in Europe. Like they provide cover because they all put out statements condemning the state of Iran. None of them put sanctions on the United States for their blockade against Cuba. The United States is trying to turn Cuba to Gaza, completely overthrown the government in Venezuela. You want to know who did side with the Cuban people? Vladimir Putin in Russia, Xi Jinping in China, who sent it was godly number, like 150,000 tons of rice. It's some crazy number. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I think they delivered oil too, maybe. Russia did. I heard that they broke the blockade.
Yeah, they broke the blockade, and then Western corporate media cope about it was hilarious. They're like, man, Donald Trump, out of the kindness of his heart, is allowing this Russian take. No, Putin said, "Bitch, I wish you would." we see how preoccupied you are, with that losing war you ordered. So I dare you to fucking come to do anything about it. And Russia blocked the blockade. We waiting on Scheinbaum. Scheinbaum been like, yo, we have the right to break the blockade. Like, bitch, well, you said something already. Like, we have the right to send oil to Cuba. Like, will you? Are you going to?
Aren't you alluding to the fact that the United States told Mexico that they can't sell oil to Cuba? So something to that effect, like they're trying to stop Mexico.
Donald Trump been putting a lot of pressure on Scheinbaum, and I have a lot of respect for what Scheinbaum done for the Mexican people. Like her domestic politics has been fantastic. But she's been doing this politics theater thing where she's like, man, I'm tired of the United States telling me what to do. I got the right to do. If I want to send oil to Cuba, I'll fucking do it. And people are like, are you going to do it or not?
Yeah.
But so I like Scheinbaum. I like Scheinbaum, though. But you got to criticize her. She deserves criticism, right? At least in my opinion.
Well, so it's just it's an insane thing. It's the fact that we are dictating. I thought this was free market capitalism. I just have to say, like, didn't we learn that capitalists hate government intervention, hate regulating in the market? Why are we intervening, trying to interfere with free trade? Anyway, that's
the funny thing is that even boomer capitalists like Donald Trump is starting to get it. Do you see that quote where Donald Trump like, man, it's crazy, China, they doing so well. In theory, this shouldn't be working.
No, I didn't see that.
I don't have that video stay. I'm pretty sure I can find it, but Donald Trump like, in theory, China shouldn't be working. God, I definitely need to find it since you didn't see it. Be like, in theory, this shouldn't be working, but China's doing great. Okay, so that's exactly what we've been arguing for quite some time. So this is to get back on track here. As you guys see, the EU, their response to, and this is why this Western world order must die. And I was telling my Iranian brothers and sisters, I was posting on Twitter, like, man, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm 100% willing to pay a little bit more in gas for however long it takes. I think that's the least we can do. I want to pay double as much as gas as I've been paying, because that's the least we can do as people funding this empire. If it means getting rid of Israel, like, were you guys kidding me? That's cheap. You know what I mean?
I'm buying a bike today. Let's go. I don't need to drive anywhere for some time.
I'm like, I used to run a lot back in the day, back when I was younger and sexier. I guess I gotta get back in my running again.
Yeah.
I gotta get back in my road.
We'll take the hit if it means an end to Israel. I'm
not even joking, by the way. I think it's a funny joke, but I'm legitimately not joking. If it takes whatever sacrifice it takes, I'm willing to be in poverty for like 5-10 years if that's what it takes to end Israel. Even longer, like, I guess I gotta be in poverty for a bit. Yeah. That's how much I despise these people. That's just me.
And I love when they try to pearl clutch and say, well, think about the economy. And I'm like, whose economy?
Doesn't benefit us anyway. Speaking of the Operation Epstein theory and effective propaganda, I always love to give Jesus Motorcycle his flower, because we're going to watch one more, because I think this is one thing we have the tools now. Like AI, there's a lot of flaws in it, but at the end of the day, it's a tool. We've seen how the ruling class uses this tool for evil. We've seen how China uses AI as a way to uplift their working class. At the end of the day, it's a tool that we can use. And I actually you guys know, if you're on my channel, I talk about how I don't like AI, but this is one of the few exceptions. Like AI is great for working class anti-war propaganda. So I think we played the first one he made on our first season episode this year, but this is like a sequel, the Epstein War.
Team Hunt! At ease, soldier, but not really. See, there's a drone up that way. I'm going to need you to lure out
Operation Fury.
your mission, should you choose to accept it. And you will accept it. You don't have a choice. We raised the age of the draft.
Private Elmer Fudge, ready for deployment.
But what about my Social Security? You don't get it anymore. Now off you go to the minefield.
Cheer up, son. The light at the end of the tunnel is approaching. Targeted elimination of the schoolhouse sector is complete.
Due to your bravery, your family gets to eat this week.
Oh, no. I'll give it to your wife myself.
Operation Fury.
I'm fighting for Jeffrey.
I'm fighting for Jeffrey.
I'm fighting for Jeffrey!
I'm fighting for Jeffrey.
Come on, man.
Jeffrey. You know,
I'll bash AI a lot, but you guys gotta admit that shit's a banger. You gotta admit.
I just want to say that, like, you know, as Marxists, as communists, I was thinking about this, how we're always trying to guide people to class consciousness, and our rhetoric centers around largely the economy. And, you know, we talk about capitalists and how they should be reviled for their wealth hoarding. That's really the root cause of all the problems in society, because of the way the economy is organized. And people don't seem to want to break past that and accept that as being true, because they're so indoctrinated with the cultural hegemony of capitalism, right? But now I find this interesting that we have an ideological component to the capitalist class. Now we can equate capitalism with some of the worst, most despicable acts of human behavior in the symbol of Jeffrey Epstein and all the things that he symbolizes and represents. So I feel like the contradictions have never been greater now, and we can use this, you know, and that's why the Epstein class, that's a new phrase we can use to associate the class war to, you know,
capitalism never existed without slavery, my friends.
What's that?
Capitalism has never, and it will never exist without slavery.
Right.
Slavery is still illegal in the United States. What's the first thing that capitalists do during the rise of capitalism? I know there's a lot of debate about this. Some people say it's around 250 years old. Some say like 300, 400. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but I think the escalation of capitalism fell around the 1800s. That's when you start seeing the rise of the industrial age.
The Industrial Revolution. Yeah.
They started engaging in mass genocide and colonialism of the global South, because that was the way they can maintain their machine, their economic machine. What do they do now? They engage in never-ending, failing war. They lost every single war in my lifetime. They get spanked in Iran, and probably the worst L ever. They lost in Ukraine. They replaced the Taliban with the Taliban. They failed to remove communism from the Korean Peninsula. They got their ass beat by a bunch of farmers in Vietnam. But you know who got rich? The people who sell weapons. The people who buy ads on MSNBC and CNN. And then Jake Tapper explains why we got to support the war in Iran. So that's how chaotic the capitalist system is. It doesn't care about you, doesn't care about future or planning. They care about never-ending profit. It doesn't matter. They'll put mandates on you to make maximum amount of profit for the big pharma. And I'll explain this to Jake Shield. I always explain this to libertarians. Why you guys think they moved the way they did during COVID? Because everything is not about the public safety. It's about maximizing profits. They was making $1,000 every goddamn second on this vaccine that they mandated to the population. That's why they do stuff. They do stuff to maximize profit. And we're seeing it even now here with the deranged decisions that the ruling class continues to make, right? And now I'll pivot to our second story here. Speaking about Operation Epstein theory, we've been speaking about all the ways that it has been a disaster for the ruling class. But now, like, not only did Iran dismantle United States bases in the Gulf, you guys know that Gulf allies that who was already being lured into China, they're leaning to China even more now. Now you have Donald Trump in a NATO alliance that is being fractured. Have you seen this, Rathbone? Look, Trump says he's considering pulling the United States out of NATO over the Iran war stand. So imagine being so pathetic that you in a street fight find somebody and you get your ass whooped. And then you turn to your friends like, you motherfuckers, why didn't you help me? And then you stop talking to them.
Yeah. And then you say, you know what? I don't need your help. Fine. We don't care about the strait anyway. No big deal. It's going to open itself. It's completely absurd.
What a massive victory for the resistance this is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are they causing this kind of tension in NATO?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think NATO is completely finished. I don't think I see it surviving after this war. And I just want to say one point, just referring back to what we were just talking about, because I think it's insufficient to frame this as an irrational war. Even though it is to a certain extent, I mean, when you consider it nationalistically between countries, like, yes, there's an irrationality into why the United States, if we still agree that we have, this patriotic nationalism, it would make sense to say this is irrational for us to engage in a war on behalf of Israel. But like you were just saying, there's something else at play here. There's a supranational, transnational capitalist class of financiers and war profiteers, and from their perspective, going to war against Iran makes perfect sense. They're making so much money off of it. Like you said, it's the imperative placed upon by the political economy of capitalism. And I think if you zoom out and you think of this as a war to contain China, ultimately, it's really a war because of competing economic systems. Always, wars are always fought over resources. They're always fought between opposing economies. And I think that's ultimately, geopolitically, that's what's happening. But from a limited perspective, I would agree that it's irrational to a certain extent. That's just what
that's just a great analysis. I hope you guys enjoy the Nick and Rathbone show. We're doing this every Wednesday. But you want to know who's benefiting from the war in Iran? Palantir. Palantir, the undisputed winner of all these wars. They are now being completely integrated into government systems. What a win for Palantir. So yeah, the United States lost in Ukraine, but you want to know who benefited the most? Palantir. These military
the whole IMF, World Bank, military industrial complex system, yeah, absolutely.
And we will never ever stop these wars until we address the issue of capitalism. That's what Marxists always analyze, how imperialism is the backbone, the structure in which capitalism operates. Because despite all the cult that's coming from the West about the success of China, you guys know China became a massive superpower and lifted peasants out of poverty without firing a single shot. What war did they engage in? What conquest did they engage in order to achieve their riches? You do understand the historic achievement that we've seen that China accomplished in our lifetime to build an empire. There's never been an empire like this. Never. Not Rome, not the Mongols, not the UK, not the United States. Every single dominant empire built their shit on blood. China, they didn't have no wars. They're not invading other countries. In fact, they stand in solidarity with oppressed movements. That's why I cringe and roll my eyes and I despise like these Trotskyites and these DSAers who be like, we don't even know we gotta condemn China because they're authoritarian too. How about you go fuck yourself? Like, how about that?
And another thing is that detractors to this argument will say, well, China didn't really achieve this success until they reform their economy to be more capitalist. But I find that argument to be lacking because it's not dialectical. You know, from my perspective, China succeeded in spite of imperial capitalism. They have been an international pariah. They've been sanctioned, illegally sanctioned, of course, by the United States because they had their revolution, and they, you know, thwarted the American capital system. And you know, do they have private industries? Sure, you know, but to expect purity from China to dialectically build this socialist state in a world where they're encircled by imperial capitalism is a ridiculous, you know, argument to make, because nothing exists in a vacuum. So
yeah, there's a lot of dummies who think it's capitalism when you have markets.
Right. And there is no capitalist class. We should mention in China that they are not allowed to accrue political power. So that's an important, and they're not allowed to, you know, control state industries like healthcare and education and infrastructure and stuff like that. So it's not the same. And I reject people that try to equate the two.
Very well said. And the class antagonisms are handled by the government. Mm-hmm. We have unchecked class antagonism. You guys know the consistent class war and attack that is waged on the working class. That is handled by the government. That's why they execute billionaires.
Yeah.
That's why landlords don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they seize the fucking banks. They're like, what the fuck you mean you controlling the bank? Get the fuck out of here. We're going to control the banks, and we're going to create a system where the average rent is around $450 to $500 in a modernized city.
Yeah.
Bro, and my friend, you guys remember Anthony Ali? I used to have him on the channel a lot, all the time. Still a good friend of mine. The reason why I don't have him on anymore because he moved to China. Do you guys know that?
Good for him. No, I've never heard of him.
He's a friend of mine. I have him on the show. I'm sure people watch the channel.
I'd love to pick his brain.
He's absolutely brilliant. Like he was like one of my favorite guests to have on. Like I might have him on again in the future, but that China time difference is really hard to navigate.
Yeah, true.
And he's like, bro, if Americans saw how people are living in China, like even in like their second rate, third rate communities, Americans was immediately riot, or at least a rational community will I'll say that a rational people will riot if they saw how the difference between how Chinese people and how we live, because how our government robs us. We have our brother Jason Smith. I had him on last week. He's an American who lives in China. So guys, I'm not some ignorant tank you don't know what I'm talking about. I am a citizen journalist. You know what citizen journalists do? I talk to people from all around the world. I talk to Palestinians in the Middle East. I talk to Palestinians in diaspora. I talk to our brothers and sisters in China. You guys know Zoya is love, Zoya is life. She's an ethnic Russian. How do you guys think I saw through the lies of the Soviet Union? Don't listen to the government. Talk to the people. And when I talk to the people in China, they're not like, oh, we're a victim of authoritarianism. Oh, do you know that China is not actually socialist? They're not saying that. Every single person in China, like, hey, Americans, do you see how fucking dope our government is? And this is Jason Smith, who I just referenced, the American who lives in China. Like, bro, I would really wish. Like, can you imagine if because I was really good at basketball back in the day, bro. I wish I played basketball and got a contract to play in China. I would just live there. Like all the NBA players, all the basketball players that go to China, like, bro, they're fucking winning in life. Like, just imagine you getting paid to live in China. Jason Smith, he's living the damn dream. And he was on the show last week. He's absolutely amazing. Absolutely, man. I love Jason. And he's like our China correspondent here. And he shared this graph because he got receipts on top of receipts. If you think I got receipts, you should see the receipts that Jason have on China. He's a legitimate historian. I got his book somewhere. Here, I got his book over here.
So, like, the Chinese like basketball, huh? I need to work on that.
They love basketball. They are a big sports culture, believe it or not. This is the book that I got. This is Jason Smith, my good friend. We just had him on. A World Beyond Poverty.
Okay.
Jason R. Smith. I'm still reading through this. This is like this is filled with knowledge. I love reading stuff like this. But anyway, let me actually discuss what this chart says. This is the perception that people have of democracies in the West compared to China. In the gray area, you can see the United States, France, and Britain. And look at these metrics. Democracy is important. The majority of people in China believes that. And the majority of the Chinese people believe that China is a democratic system. Compare that to what people in the West believe. No one in the United States, other than these brainwashed boomers, believe that we actually live in a democracy. And I think the most important, or I think probably the most telling graph here, and I want to get your thoughts, Rathbone. The most telling part is the third one here. Look, the perception of people who believe that my government serves the people. You see how fucking big that graph is on China? Bro, 90% of the Chinese people believe that their government represents the people. And now do you see why I have disdain for these dipshit leftists who've never been to China, never talked to anyone in China? They're like, don't you know that the Chinese government doesn't represent the people? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they just constantly pearl clutch at the thought of a government actually being effective in passing public legislation. And it's like China is proving that you can do this. Governments can do this. It's actually pretty simple. You know, you just have to get rid of the corporate capture that the capitalist class enjoys over the government.
Bro, if I ever go to China, they might lock me up because I'm overstaying my visa. I want to be a legal immigrant to the state of China. Too bad I don't know how to speak the language, but they got these AI apps. There are these apps I see on China where you can, if you don't even speak Mandarin, you can just wave this app. It'll translate everything to English. They got live. I got to find this video I watched a long time ago where they broke this down. So I'm like, man, me and Zoya, hey, we gotta go. We gotta get our shit together and move to China.
I've heard that they like drug test you immediately as you get to the airport. Like if you come from a different country, and if you like test positive for like weed or something, like they'll deport you. Is that true?
Oh, I'm fucked in.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, shit.
I'm definitely fucked in.
I think also YouTube, you can't we couldn't do this. Like I don't know if can you YouTube in China, or do they have their own thing?
They got their own social media apps. I don't think they don't have YouTube, like the same way they don't have Twitter. They have their own versions of that. You know what I mean? They have their own versions of because their internet is completely different. They have a sovereign internet. I think that a lot of people are realizing that allowing the West to have access and control your internet is a massive risk to your sovereignty.
Yeah, no, I can understand why.
Speaking of drug use, you want to know what country I would love to visit that most Americans hate? They actually have a big drug culture. The DPRK, North Korea.
I was about to say, ironically, I was going to say North Korea, but I didn't mean it.
You guys know that the DPRK have legalized cannabis.
Really?
And they have a big cannabis culture.
Wow.
One thing that Americans are not allowed to know about Korea, decolonize your mind. This is the best Korea, by the way.
That's right, the North one.
The best Korea. You guys know they have a big beer culture? They have a gigantic beer industry, fam. And Kim Jong-un loves, he's a big beer guy, apparently. He's like
that explains the beer belly.
Yeah. I see a lot of people like, what? I see a lot of people in chat like, what? Why do you guys think you're not allowed to know these kind of things about our enemies? Like, people believe these people are just living in a horrific, hellish experience because that's what John Bolton told you.
Yeah.
That's what I spend a lot of my time doing. I turn a lot of brainwashed Americans off because I spend my time dehumanizing our enemies. When I love sharing this fact. This was written in Vice 13 years ago, but no one knows it. I'll be always bringing this up to people like, what? I thought North Korea was a prison state, nigga. Bro, they be partying all the time in Pyongyang. Now we get videos that release. We see videos that leak of what Pyongyang and North Korea actually looks like. It's incredible. Completely clean. Crime is non-existent. And they have a rich culture and a history of struggle against imperialism. And Zionism is essentially criminalized. That's that too. So you guys wonder why they lied to you about North Korea and everything about North Korea? This is exactly why. Kim Jong-un been waiting for a while. I wish you motherfuckers would do something. He taught a lesson to the global South. That you don't listen to the pearl clutching of the neocon regime. You defend your sovereignty and you defend your people. You don't give a fuck what these people say. That's why the idea of Iran, like they just gonna tell Iran that you can not allowed to have ballistic missiles. What are you talking about? and that's like, I'll show you guys liberal court media, CNN, MSNBC, and all that stuff, and they're like deranged ideology. Where I think Rathbone working on now. I see people in chat saying that Rathbone on YouTube was killed.
Yeah, it's we got a community guidelines violation because we're simulcasting right now, me and you, and I'm streaming to my channel and you're streaming to yours, and apparently,
I get in trouble.
and apparently my stream got taken down because it said that we were once again we violated the firearms policy, but as you can see, there's no firearms that any of us are handling.
Oh my fucking god! Now you asked me what I was talking about. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I hit appeal, and I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But this happened like like a week or two ago, and I made a big stink about it on Twitter. I reached out to some friends that have some connections to YouTube, and they ultimately reversed it. So hopefully that will happen yet again. But it's constant. That's why we're always. I know you're on your second or third page. I'm on my third page. So it's a bummer. But
crazy.
That's weird though. They didn't take your stream down. They just took down mine.
Yeah, that's how you know they be on some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's how you know I remember I got RBN strike doing the same thing. I was streaming on my backup YouTube channel and then on RBN, and then they only gave RBN the strike because that was the channel they was watching. How consistent of you?
Yeah, I mean, really, so arbitrary.
That's crazy. That's why now you guys see why I'm hesitant to show like the war footage. That's very interesting to see, like all the footage I see on edge. We can't show that kind of stuff because there's a 2-tiered system that we're dealing with. I'll read a few super chats and then I will continue some coverage. I'm still debating because I'm still debating whether I'm going to show the Trump, whether we should react to the Trump announcement. I know you plan on covering it, but
yeah.
I'm still debating that. We see.
Well,
on top of the hour, I decide whether we're gonna show on the channel.
It's literally an exercise in futility. I just like to make fun of the President.
Yeah, of course.
He's just a pathological liar and a bloviating idiot. But
yeah, definitely worth doing. I'm still debating whether we're gonna cover it or not.
Yeah,
I don't know by the end of the hour. Let me read a few super chats and then I will continue. What else? What else do I have here? I want to continue the coverage of like Western reaction, NATO reaction to the United States taking a big L. Because remember, fam, it's always fun and it's cool when you are in part of the winning group. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. When your team is winning, when you're part of people who are on top, it's fun and games. But the second that there's difficulties, like celebrities see it all the time, like music artists, like when they're on top, they get all these big clicks, they have everyone on their jock, whatever. And then the second that they start falling on the music chart, their friends start disappearing. But that's kind of what we're seeing on the geopolitical stage because they view the United States as this giant power that will be able to defend them. Oh, we're on the winning side. Now you guys are losing to Iran. Now they want to hold up. So we're going to cover that here soon. But before I do that, let's get into some super chats. The U.S. has set a rake in front of itself, and we are just stepping in it. Fuck my life. Yeah, these are super chats on both channels. That's why Nick and Rathbone. I have fun doing this show. I can see chats from both channels. We got super chats on both channels. Here's a Rathbone super chat here. If this conflict escalates to an invasion and a forever war, could this lead to a massive U.S. civil unrest and an eventual civil war? Not civil war. Have you guys ever seen these people? They're like, there's going to be a civil war in the next few years. Like, bro, no one is dying over your stupid ass red-blue game. Like, if there's ever a civil war, it's going to be a revolution. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Democrats and the liberals would not join us in that pursuit. So if people think there's going to ever be this civil war between the Democrats taking up arms against the Republicans, not going to happen. Like, it would be funny, but it's not going to happen. Apparently, Donald Trump might announce that he want to get out of this war. He has to. What I'm more interested in, instead of this speech by Donald Trump, is the reaction to Iran that Iran has. Because Iran was like, nah, you're not leaving this war until we told you guys this shit is over. We are going to make the cost of this war so high that you guys would never even dream of doing this again. And I hope they're telling the truth, because to be honest, guys, Iran, they be talking a lot of shit sometimes. I really hope they mean it when they say that they're here to stay.
I believe.
Go ahead.
Oh, no,
I'll let you answer this question first, since
okay.
I've been a lot here. My question to Wrath and Nick is if Trump policy is to force a landing, then would that mean Netanyahu is pushing for failure so he can justify a nuclear strike? What do you think, Rathbone?
I think that Netanyahu is desperate to continue this war for as long as he can, and I think Trump is desperate to end the war as soon as he can. But yeah, I think of all of the people that are involved in this conflict, Netanyahu is the most likely to drop a nuclear weapon. So you're saying as if Trump's policy is to force a land. The ground invasion is a by all accounts, it's a doomed expedition. And I mean, I think Netanyahu is basically just an agent of chaos, and he's a warlord. He's like a used car salesman for war. So of course he's going to want to keep this going.
You guys notice that the IDF like, nah, we good. That whole ground invasion you're doing in Iran, you got it, champ. You got it. They're not even joining the ground invasion. What does that say? And regarding Israel using a nuclear weapon. Dude. Sorry, what was that, Rathbone?
I was just saying they're getting crushed too. I mean, I've been reading a lot of translations from the Hebrew press, and the IDF chief of staff is raising 10 red flags and saying they can't sustain this. The IDF is collapsing. They're trying to draft new conscription laws to conjure up 400,000 reservists, if you can believe that, when just about a month ago they were trying to call up 60,000 reservists, and they only got like 60% of that. So it's like now they're asking for 400,000. A lot of Israelis have deserted. A lot of IDF soldiers have deserted. A lot of Israelis have fled. Like, I think the count right now is like up to 1 million Israelis have fled, and the rest are just living underground. And also, did you hear, Nick, that Kiryat Shimona? Did you hear that was? I find this unbelievable that Hezbollah has actually taken control and captured an Israeli city, and they've actually gained ground. So imagine that the IDF goes in to invade southern Lebanon. Now they're losing ground, and we saw Kiryat Shimona, the mayor, give a tear-filled speech where he's condemning Netanyahu, saying you're not protecting your own citizens, and he was sort of predicting that this would continue and eventually Israel will be completely captured. So a bit of wishful thinking there.
Yeah, fam. They're arresting people in the UK for showing the IDF getting smoked. they in the fascist state of the UK that's known as promoting terrorism. Because there's countless videos that you guys see. I'm worried to death about what happened to Rathbone channel, but you guys see how they get upset at us for just showing military weapons. What are they hiding? You guys see they're desperate to hide their own losses. And in Israel, you can get arrested for that. Sent to prison. Really fucked up for sharing the losses of the IDF. In the UK too, you're not allowed to post about that. In fact, actually, my friend Richard Medders, that's one of the reasons why they charge him with terrorism. They fuck with his channels all the time because he shows the victories of the resistance.
Yeah.
And that's what I think this person is referring to at the end of this question here is whenever Israel is in the position where they face utter and complete defeat, like they have in this war, which is another reason why the United States wants to end it. They don't give a fuck about you struggling over gas prices. You think they give a fuck about that? No. Tel Aviv is getting dismantled. Their radar systems is down. There's no sirens that are going off. Israel is getting hammered by Iran, and now Hezbollah is getting victory. And you guys saw the AI video. You guys see the new news about Yemen is entering the war. So if they ever face this utter defeat, they're a deception option. And what alleviated? Actually, I don't think that's the right word. I was about to say my word. Not alleviated, but I feel just slightly better because you guys see what China said. China was like, bro, Israel, if you use a nuclear weapon, we're going to fuck you up and Israel will never exist again.
Did they say that, China?
Yeah, but the reason why I don't feel slightly better is because these genocidal psychopaths, they probably fucking They probably down with ending all of humanity.
Yeah.
If it means the end of the Jewish state. So I guess feeling better about that is not accurate, but at least like the wrath that they'll face from Russia and China. Russia warned them about using a nuclear weapon. If they did, I think humanity will have to respond in a way that Israel will never exist again. So it is scary because even if that happens, humanity still loses. You know what I mean? You still lose. Thank you for the super sticker, Joseph Macy. Here's another one. Sorry, guys, but we in Latin America don't see another way to cripple the U.S. empire but the U.S. mainland being staged to a destructive war. I will join you, motherfuckers. I'll join you guys. Then the elites will think twice before start another carnage overseas. The only problem is, unfortunately, the United States is protected by two-ass oceans. The United States was able to grow to superpower because they was blessed. We were blessed with natural defenses. But I don't think any sort of land war in the United States is feasible. This is why I spend my time criticizing our lack of action, because you see a lot of leftists like, why aren't Russia? Why don't they declare war against Israel? Why don't China do anything about Israel? I'm like, yeah, technically they could do more against Israel, but as someone who lives in the United States, that's your problem. It's not the problem of China or Russia to fix the mistakes of Americans. And the fact that Americans are not able to rein in Zionism, that's not their problem. And that's the reason why I make that argument. Because at the end of the day, we can't rely on any sort of foreign power wiping out the Epstein class. That's not going to happen. We need to fuck them up. We need an uprising. We can't, and this is not this person from Latin America, so this is not this person in particular. But for the Americans to expect there's going to be like some like revolutionary international movement that will bail us out, that's not going to happen. It will be up upon us, 100%.
It's a good point.
Mahmoud OD shows all those explosions. I'm not sure who that is, but
he's a YouTuber, and I think that person was just referring to the fact that like we got these firearm strikes, and it's like there's no rhyme or reason. People are showing stuff on this channel or on that channel, and it's all arbitrary what gets taken down.
Very well said. I see like breaking points and all these main channels. They show war stuff all the time. I think to me it's just crazy. It's crazy like that. How they will go after us. Long live Sinwar, Nasrallah, and Khamenei. Absolutely. There's some DSA guy like, if you guys don't like AOC, who do you like? Sinwar. What are you talking about? What politician do you like if you don't like AOC?
That's a based answer. And they're like, what? Oh my God.
I support the resistance. That's what I fucking support. Much love to RBN and Rathbone. Resistance will win. I want to share this video. Now, since we're on the cups of this Donald Trump announcement, what do you guys think? Do you guys want to watch the video? I'm still literally on the fence about whether I might show the beginning of it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know if you had to handle your. I know YouTube just fuck your channel. I'm still wondering what the hell is happening with your channel, right? But I know you was gonna cover it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if I can stream or not.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's like completely threw me off my game. If it hasn't been obvious.
I'm sorry, dude.
Nah, dude, I'm feeling fucking bad. Like, what? Did I just get Rathbone banned? What the fuck?
Well, I'm just hoping. You could help it if you just retweet. I tweeted about it, and
let me find.
If you could repost it, that just to give it some more.
Let's find it. Before we get to the next step, let's look up Rathbone.
And
let's see where. Let's see what the fuck is going on, bro. What is going on? I just got Rathbone banned.
No, it's not like that. I mean, it's okay. The channel is still up and everything.
Yeah.
And, like I said, this happened once before, specifically with firearms. And just so we're clear, YouTube has a policy where if you're live streaming, you cannot be handling physically, you yourself, the live streamer, cannot physically be handling a firearm. And they've always struck me down, and I've never had a firearm in my hands. I've never operated a firearm live on stream or even off stream, really. I mean, come on. And and they get me. So I'm trying to complain and hopefully, Because you tag YouTube and then sometimes Team YouTube responded. You see that? Could you scroll down and see what they said? See where Team YouTube?
Oh yeah, I just see this. Chain Up For You will follow up soon that we have an update. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't believe you. That's fucked up.
Bullshit.
Crazy. That's crazy. Like, bro, they call us with the same thing too. It's very fucked up. But before I'm looking for the speech. I'm actually like I might watch it since Rathbone channel's down. I was like debating anyway. I might watch a little bit of it and we can give our analysis. I think I would do that if you're down, Rathbone. Watch a little bit of it and we can share our thoughts. We won't spend a long time on it. Just that'll probably be our last segment. I think I will show it because I found here's a CNN stream. We're just gonna watch this CNN stream. I think it is important enough for me to cover. So I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind. I guess I cover it at least for a little bit at the end of the stream. So, but before we get to that, I got to show you this quote. This was from like 2 days ago. But bro, come on, man, come on. This is Marco Rubio criticizing Iran for being a hyper-militaristic society.
And at the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country, that would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country. So we are always hopeful that that would exist over there.
This is almost beneath me to even have to respond to this. So the country that doesn't have health care, where there is a massive amount of medical bankruptcies, versus Iran, where they have free health care, the most educated women on planet. Rathbone, do you see the clip? This obvious BS.
Yeah, wait. What? I'm sorry, I was distracted.
I know it's okay. I know you got like you dealing with too, but this is pretty.
But what did he just say?
Marco Rubio was like, I know you got that YouTube channel, so that's crazy. But Marco Rubio essentially was like, actually, I'll play the video game. It's only 20 seconds. I'll play it again.
And at the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country, that would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country. So we are always hopeful that that would exist over there.
Actually, yeah, Professor Morandi had a good clapback. He's like, if we did that, then you would have murdered the whole country then, It's another example of Marco Rubio just simply projecting his own crimes and the crimes of his own government onto Iran. We are the terrorist country that spends billions and billions of dollars on weapons. We're a completely warlike, barbaric society. And, we're just these are accusation. We are accusing Iran, but we're actually confessing our own crimes.
And this idea that Iran or other countries don't have the right to build self-defense is absurd on face value, let alone all the obvious ridiculousness. This is pure. Everything the empire accused their enemies of is pure projection. Even when we don't spend our money on the military, you want to know what we're spending on? The police state. So we either spend our money to beat the shit out of brown people overseas or to implement fascism in the United States. But that's
same. Exactly.
We got millions homeless. We got countless food insecurity, medical bankruptcies, and they accuse Iran. And you want to know what's crazy? Donald Trump probably said one of the craziest things I heard a president say, where he just said the quiet part out loud, which directly rebukes what Marco Rubio is criticizing Iran of doing. And this will be the last video we share, because I think this is a perfect lead up into Donald Trump's announcement. We might have a little bit more time, because you guys know they're always late. So he might be late. But here's Donald Trump explaining why we as Americans, we are not allowed to get things done for us by our government because the Epstein class is too busy waging war.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up. But it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection.
The thing is, sorry, Rathbone, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. He's just so absurd.
I want you to go first. You go first, Rathbone.
What was he saying? He's talking about Iran, how they should be able to pay for their. I'm confused.
I showed Marco Rubio criticizing Iran for being a militarized state. And then here's Donald Trump admitting that we as a government can't focus on providing Medicare. He mentioned Medicare. He's like, no, we can't do Medicare. We need to focus on defense. You guys are just criticizing Iran for that.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. Completely hypocritical.
And right before we show Trump's speech, because the Trump speech is about to happen in the last 3 minutes, you guys know Australia had a statement that they released as well. And in response to rising gas prices, in response to this war, I'll let it play I'll let it play here. The message that he has to his people is that, hey, man, we got to make some sacrifices for the greater Israel. That's essentially what he's saying here.
Small businesses and families are doing it tough. And the reality is the economic shocks caused by this war will be with us for months. Tonight, I want to speak directly with you about what the government is doing to shield Australia in these uncertain times, and also what all of us can do to help our country and help each other in the period ahead. On Monday, National Cabinet adopted the National Fuel Security Plan. Leaders from both sides of politics, from right around the country, working together to keep Australia moving, making sure that we are prepared so that if the global situation gets worse and our fuel supplies are seriously disrupted over the long term, we can coordinate the next steps together. Today, we cut the fuel excise in half, cutting the tax on every litre of petrol by 26 cents. Those savings have started showing up at your petrol station. For our truckies, we have cut the heavy vehicle road user charge to zero. Both these measures will be in place for the next 3 months. We are working to bring the price of fuel down.
So they do all this stuff instead of just simply sanctioning Israel. I want you guys to keep that in mind. Look at all this bullshit you're doing instead of simply calling out Zionism for the cancer that it is. Why do you have to do all this, asshole? They're like, we gotta do all this. You're doing this to support Israeli war. I'll let it continue.
Make more fuel here and to keep it on shore, and get more fuel here, using our strong trading relationships with our region to bring more petrol, diesel and fertiliser to Australia. Now, it's the Australian way that people want to do their bit. And there are simple ways that you can. You should go about your business and your life as normal. Enjoy your Easter. And if you're hitting the road, don't take more fuel than you need. Just fill up like you normally would. Think of others in your community, in the bush and in critical industries. And over coming weeks, if you can switch to catching the train or bus or tram to work, do so.
So, fam, drive less, use public transportation, and make personal sacrifices as Israel achieves their ambition of achieving the greater Israel project. Am I the only one who is interpreting this speech this way? So Australia is arresting their own citizens for opposing Israeli war. And they're providing material support to Israel. And they're like, hey, guys, you got to make a little bit of sacrifices so Israel can take out their enemies. Rathbone, any thoughts? Yeah. I'm going to switch to the Trump speech here soon.
They're just saying, be okay with austerity. Okay, it's another example of the criminal Epstein class offloading the brunt of the costs and the liabilities onto the people. And I just can't help but think about what the Iranian leaders have sacrificed. They've literally given up their lives for their country. And here in Australia, this guy is saying, he's telling the people they need to sacrifice a little bit more. Like this guy is such a weasel. He's got no skin in the game. He's just a mouthpiece for Jeffrey Epstein. But hey, Nick, I see that my stream is still up. I want to go check on it, and I have some people in there in the waiting room, and I want to let them know what's going on. So I'm going to see if I can still stream. But if I can't, I'll hop back in if that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Like you do your thing. I'm actually going to watch a little bit. I'm gonna watch a little bit of this press conference.
Okay.
I don't plan on being that long, so maybe like it'll be a short segment, but it's always fun having you on Rathbone. I know there's some crazy shit that just happened, so
Yeah.
Do your thing, man. We're gonna be back next Wednesday. I'm gonna just watch a bit of this speech because I'm like, I was thinking I'm gonna watch this after I leave the stream anyway. Like after I leave the stream, you know, what I mean, I'm gonna grab some dinner. I'm gonna have this damn announcement. So I'm like, I might as well watch it live. So Rathbone, do your thing. It's always great having you on. Like this is a new series that we have, the Nick and Rathbone show. So we'll be back next week. Well, I'm planning on doing. I'm gonna do 2 on and then 1 off. We talked about that before. 2 straight Wednesdays and 1 off. Simply because I have. I'm sure you do. I got so many guests.
Yeah, I see. You're always got the foot on the gas. So
yeah, I need like 1 bi-week because I need to have my friend Sarah back on, my friend Nico back on, Jason. Like, so I think we're gonna do 1 bi-week on a Wednesday, but then 2 straight. So this is a new ongoing series. So if you're on our channel, make sure you and I'm sure you guys have already, but subscribe to Rathbone, support him because YouTube is going after him hard. We are in this together, my brother. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. It's always a pleasure. I'll see you next time. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
I swear to God, they better not be too fucking long on this. If they late, I'm leaving. Like, look, they already taking it. I told you guys it was gonna be late. I still have plenty to cover. You guys know I can talk all fucking day. I'm a talker. But I knew it was gonna be late. So yeah, I think most people in the chat wanted me to cover it. So I'm like, fuck it. I was gonna watch it anyway. Cover the announcement together. Yeah. Please support each other. It'll be a bumpy ride, but we're getting there. We're winning. Love from Mexico. See, I got a lot of pride in the fact that that we have a large international base on this channel in RBN. The American left is really hard to get through. Like the DSA, Western chauvinist left. They see a lot of my takes like, well, come on, man. What do you mean you like China? Don't you know we're supposed to hate China? So with the international audience, I do much better for sure. So I guess it's gonna be late. I have segments. You guys know I'm always in the lab because I got plenty of stuff to talk about. But I guess I'll read some. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna share my email with you guys here soon. But let's listen to this video. I'm gonna take a quick break as this plays. I'll be back though.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis 2. It was quite something. It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before. It's amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran. In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them, terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons, factories, and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash, took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran. They would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible. And they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job." Every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined, and that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before, should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great, big, beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days, and the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
Bro, what was the fucking point of that? So this man, Donald Trump, scheduled a speech just so he can cope in front of hundreds of millions of people? Actually, probably billions. There are people around the world watching this, I'm assuming. So over 1 billion people. He said not a goddamn thing the whole fucking time. He was like, guys, I promise you, I'm not losing. We're not losing. I promise you. Hey, guys, don't you know that I degraded Iran's military? That's why I'm asking European countries to help me open the Straits of Hormuz. Bro, he just spent the first part of the speech pretending that he dismantled Iran and pretending he win the war. If you're winning the war like you claimed you are, why are you begging European countries to open the Straits of Hormuz? Does that even make sense? And then also Donald Trump in the beginning was bragging about all the terror he was spreading. He was trying to post his W's when these W's don't actually exist. He was playing the great might of the United States military, how we take out Venezuela, how we assassinate all these people. And didn't even want to say Iran are the warmongers. Like, he was just contradicting himself. This speech was designed for Fox News. This speech was designed for Sean Hannity, Mark Levin. A lot of people thought that this speech will actually be newsworthy, that he may surrender. He said he was going to get a 2-3 week timeline. Nigga, you said that 2-3 weeks ago. Now, where do we even start on this speech? He also was explaining how, and this shows how illiterate Donald Trump is. He was like, don't you know that we don't need the Straits of Hormuz? Fuck you talking about some Straits of Hormuz for? I don't need the Straits of Hormuz. Like, bro, we live in a global oil market, you dipshit. Like, even if we get a small percentage of our oil through, I actually want to see what Twitter is saying. That's why I'm putting the screen up. Even if we don't get most of our oil through the Straits of Hormuz, like a country like Japan, that doesn't matter because we live in a global oil market. That's why oil prices will continue to explode in the United States. And, oh yeah, we also need for fertilizer. This is a good comment from my friend Wombat. I love your guys' comments. I was putting a few comments on there at the end. Reading the comments on stream live was the only thing keeping me sane. Dude, what the fucking... I told you guys I didn't want to show this shit. I shouldn't have showed this shit. What was the fucking point of that? Other than him giving sound bites to Mark Levin to use on the show. That's designed to give sound bites to Sean Hannity and to convince these boomers that we were winning. That is no. That is literally just for, like, this was absolutely not newsworthy at all. But yeah, we did have to watch. I wasn't planning on showing it, but I was like, man, I'm live. Why the fuck wouldn't I show it since I'm live? But I think it's important to know that you can sense the sense of panic of Donald Trump. To me, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, man, he is really panicking. He is really desperate to get us to believe these obvious lies. He mentioned the 45,000 dead Iranians after the protest. Fam, you have to realize that Iran claims that there's around 3,000 dead Iranians after the United States have been bombing them indiscriminately for weeks. So you telling me that Iran, in only a few days, can murder 45,000 people, but the United States raining hellfire on Tehran only kills 3,000 in a few weeks? Does that even make sense at face value? And I think it's wild that Donald Trump is clearly repeating Iranian propaganda, because why only use 45,000? If you're going to be that absurd, why only 45? You might as well say 6 million. You guys love that number. I heard it was 6 million Iranians that was murdered by their government. But yeah, that was a big nothing burger as far as I'm concerned. That was my quick thoughts. I do want to read this before I leave, though. And I want to show you guys what the president of Iran is saying. And they released this letter in anticipation of Donald Trump's deranged speech. And it's a shame that around 50% of Americans can't read past an 8th grade school level. It's a shame that the majority of people will not see this message. But I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this message sent by the Iranian people that is to the people of the United States. I skimmed it. I didn't actually read the whole thing. I skimmed it. But just skimming it and seeing what he was saying before I went live, this is a perfect counter to everything that Donald Trump is saying. And it's almost like they had someone hack into a speechwriter's computer. That's how on point this letter is. And the fact that so many Americans believe that Iran is our enemy, especially after we read this letter, is absurd. So let's get into this. This is great to cover after those horrific Zionist lies told by Donald Trump. This is a way for us to detoxify our mind from that nonsense. So this is from the president of Iran. Titled, "To the People of the United States of America, in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. To the people of the United States of America, and to all those who, amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives, continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life, Iran, by this very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, and colonialism and domination." Let me pause right here. You guys see they're already spitting. This is already an amazing letter. I was explaining to Rathbone how China built their empire without engaging in imperialism, without murdering people overseas. Compare that to the United States, a country that is only 250 years old. Meanwhile, they have been at war for 225 years out of our existence. Am my math right on that? Let me look up. How old is the United States? I'm pretty sure it's 250 years old. How old is the United States? Yeah, 250. Yeah, it's 250 years old. I know I was tripping. So out of 250 years, we waged war 225 years out of those. Actually, that number might be different now. Like, we're not. How many years? Actually, because I don't know, like maybe 227 now. Let me fact check. How many years U.S. has been at war versus at peace? Jesus Christ. So sorry, I'm just using the AI overview here. The United States have been involved in military conflicts for the vast majority of its existence, with estimates suggesting only about 15 to 21 years of total peace. Meanwhile, Donald Trump wants to convince stupid-ass white boomers and suburbanites that Iran is a threat to humanity. These inbred Jewish supremacists, they want to convince people that Iran It's such a threat to humanity that we gotta dismantle United States, or not United States, but the global energy market. This is why I don't have any sympathy for any United States soldiers who signed up for war. You know how many of these people be like, do you know that Timmy, he didn't join the military because he didn't want to join the war? Go fuck yourself. If you sign up to join a military in a country that only been at peace for 15 to 21 years, you know exactly what the fuck you sign up for. The people. No. Let me say it like this. I'm gonna change the way I'm gonna frame this. I was about to go super hard, but I'm actually gonna go a little bit lighter here because there are people who are showing these videos of U.S. military members looking sad before they go to war. I'm like, man, you know who the fuck you signed up for. But to criticize my own take, to reflect on, it is good propaganda. If all the people showing the footage, oh my God, I can't believe this soldier is going to war. Bitch, the military been at war for 90% of its existence. You think that you're gonna join the military during the time of peace? Are you really that serious? Anyway, I think I made my point. Let's get back to the letter. So, in the beginning of this letter, they explain how Iran, one of the oldest civilizations next to China, they don't, in the modern history of the country, they never engaged in imperialism, colonialism. They only defended themselves. So I left off here. Iran has never in its modern history chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination, even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers, and despite possessing military superiority over many of its neighbors. Talk your shit, Iran. And they've proven that to be true. They 100. They talk all this shit. They proven they are like a professional fighter who calls a round one knockout, and people are like, look at this cocky motherfucker. Then they knock the person down in the first round. Talk your shit, Iran. Talk your shit. Iran has never initiated a war, yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enemy towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Once again, they're better than me. Nigga, I live in the United States and I hate the damn country. They're better than me. You guys have every single reason to hate us. You have every single reason to hate the West. But our brothers and sisters in Iran, they are such a beacon of humanity that despite all the pain and suffering that we show them, that we inflict on their people, despite the apathy that Americans have towards the suffering of their school children who was mass murdered by the government that they voted for, despite everything, despite all the legitimate reasons they have to hate our ass, their message is still, guys, please, can we please get along? Can we cooperate with each other? Like, I'm only 1/8 through this letter. This is 4 pages, and yes, we're about to fucking read this all. We needed to detoxify our soul after that Donald Trump speech. The Iranian people harbor no enemy towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the people they govern. And this is why the white suburbanite white people piss me the fuck off, because they were like, do you know that Iran chants death to America? Do you know Iran chants death to, do you know Iran hurt my feelings? So since they said death to America, we're going to murder their school children. That shows how deranged the American people are, right? Because when they say death to America, they talking about freeing us too. These white boys wonder why I don't despise Iran. You had Ayatollah consistently speaking out against the oppression of the African Americans, of our brothers and sisters. He wrote about the police state. They show solidarity with George Floyd, with Trayvon Martin. And then meanwhile, a bunch of white boys who celebrated the deaths of these people want me to hate Iran? I saw this comment on the side of my eye. I know you guys are leaving so many banger comments. I wish I can get to them all, but I just seen this one on the side of my eye, and I think this is a good one. It's not like the vast majority of Americans have any real connection to this lands anyway. It's a settler colony. I'm a African descendant of slaves. So there's not any flag pumping bullshit here. We care about uplifting the people. We want America to be the beacon of peace and prosperity in the world, not out of some patriotic duty, but because that would be good for humanity. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's continue the letter. I don't want to get too distracted because it's already a pretty long letter. But I'm reading I'm getting fired up reading this. I skimmed it when I saw it earlier, but now I'm actually fully reading it. They explain how, despite repeated interventions and pressures, they drawn a distinction between the governments and the people that they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor the present day observable facts. So you guys, the president of Iran released this letter knowing that Donald Trump was going to say a bunch of bullshit tonight. So this letter is here to dismantle it. That's why I think this is great to read this after listening to Donald Trump's nonsense. Such perception is a product of political and economic whims of the powerful, the need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic markets. In such an environment, if threat does not exist, it is invented. This sounds like a Marxist analysis of American imperialism to me. Isn't it interesting that our enemies know more about the reality of how our government operates than the average American who believe we fight these wars in order to defend democracy? Or I should say registered voters. Like, if I was to be the most accurate in my language, I would be criticizing registered American voters because the polls that come from registered American voters are straight up deranged, fam. Like, all of them hate Iran, all of them hate Hamas. They support NATO. I shared the polling I was reporting on the recent polling on foreign policy on my X account. But the reason why it's important to distinguish between the American registered voter and the people who don't vote is because the reason why those polls are so fucked up because people who don't believe in that stupid bullshit are not registered to vote. They're not voting to support an empire knowing that the empire is full of shit. So if you're a registered voter, yeah, you're going to be the kind of person who believes that Iran is evil because you're the kind of dipshit who actually believes in the legitimacy of our state. I plan on doing a segment on this later, but I did a lot of reporting on these polls on Twitter. And I'm going to give you guys just one example of what I'm talking about here. Since I don't know why the fuck I'm doing this long ass segment, but I'm gonna cut it. Since I'm fucking doing it, I'm gonna cut it later. Fuck it. I was not planning on doing this, but let's get into it. Because when I was posting these polls and people was like, "Hey Nick, don't you know these polls are bullshit?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we gotta analyze what it really means." The people who vote for Republican and Democrat, their mind are completely colonized, raped, fam, completely shattered. I'm going to just read one of these because I posted a ton of them. I have a whole thread about it. Look, 2/3 agree Iran has been the leading source of instability, terrorism, and war. 2/3 of registered Americans, not us, not the people who see through the propaganda, but I'm talking about the standard mainstream American. Believe that Iran are the people bombing countries, not the United States. You guys see why I do propaganda reports? You guys see why I sit through these painful propaganda segments from CNN, MSNBC. I read stuff from New York Times, Washington Post, because there are people who believe it. These are millions and millions of people, these registered voters. This poll in particular had a 2,000 sample size. 2,000 is a lot of fucking people to be saying this crazy shit. We know they pick and choose. There are a lot of people who was schooling me on that on X. I was like, yeah, I know, man. I'm just reporting this information for you guys. But you guys see how we have millions of people. These are the only people who are dumb enough to support the duopoly are the ones who believe lazy Reaganite propaganda. Actually, I'll show you guys this one. Look, this is what American voters believe. Since I'm getting into it. Yeah, man, I feel fucking so bad, man. Rathbone, you guys see how YouTube fucks with my channel so much? Me and Rathbone started collaborating, and the second we started collaborating, he gets fucking banned. Oh, Rathbone, you see why everyone else on the left try to avoid me? They'll ban their ass the second you start trying to collab. But look at these stats. I was pouring on these stats, and bro, so many people are like, bro, these are fake. I'm like, huh? There's still people who believe this stuff, though. Look, voters continue to believe it is in the United States' interest to stop Iran from attaining a nuclear weapon. But look, but I'm gonna read some more of this. This is crazy what the American people believe. And I'm like, since I'm gonna do this segment anyway, I might as well do it in a complete way. So I decided to show you guys this stuff anyway. Then we're gonna get back to the letter. Look, 66% of registered voters believe it's the job of the United States government to restrain the global influence of China and Russia. How the fuck does that benefit you? The fuck are you talking about? So 66% of Americans who vote, who they poll on these issues, are like, yeah, my number one concern, I think we should stop China from development. Y'all see why I do what I do? This is crazy. 57% investing in Venezuela oil infrastructure. So most American voters are just outright imperialism. Imperialism. They're outright imperialist. And my thread about this, I'm going to tie this in with the Iranian letter because I think these fit together perfectly. And why they're doing their best to try to reach the brainwashed American people. I said the American people are sick. The most propagandized people in the world. Most support the United States military, as you guys see on the top here, despite them bombing school children in Iran. But they hate Iran. You guys see Iran is minus 53 with registered voters. Why? Because they had the audacity of getting their schools bombed by the military that you guys support? And you guys see how high the FBI is? The FBI is number 3 in the most popular institution in the United States. That is insanity. The FBI, as I explained in my tweet here, was just caught enabling Jeffrey Epstein. They allowed Jeffrey Epstein to exist for decades. The FBI received countless tips about Jeffrey Epstein, and they covered it up. The Epstein files revealed that there was FBI agents that will warn Jeffrey Epstein about incoming investigations. Meanwhile, the American people see the work of the FBI. Well, not the American people. Once again, I got to make the distinction. These are the people who vote. These are the people who are part of the duopoly. 88 million Americans did not vote in last elections. You know what I mean? So these are the brainwashed shit lips. These are the shit lips that people think they're going to win over at a No Kings rally. What the fuck? What are you talking about? They support the FBI, despite the FBI covering for Epstein. They hate Russia and Putin for protecting the Ukrainian children that was smuggled by the Epstein elite that was revealed by the Epstein files. They hate Russia for defending themselves against NATO. They hate Hamas. Look, you see the bottom here? They hate Hamas, despite that Hamas is mostly a group full of orphans who are engaged in their international right of self-defense. %20 support NATO. That's the NATO left. The NATO left, baby. 20%. Now you guys see widespread nonstop anti-NATO propaganda. In fact, when I see this shit, when I see these posts, it made me more fired up to continue what the fuck I'm doing. I don't care if YouTube has us suppressed. I don't care a fuck about it. If I'm able to change anyone's minds about these insane neocon positions. Like, look at this. The slight majority of American voters believe that the United States intervention into Cuba is justified. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nearly 40% of Democrats believe the intervention into Cuba is justified. I think this was important to cover in context of this Iranian letter, but let me get back to it. We only covered the first page. I'll maybe speed up the segment a little bit. I only read the first page, but this is the appeal that is necessary to the American people. And I would never, before I continue, I'm going to say this, I would never in a million years, they can offer me millions and millions of dollars. They can offer me access to all the clubs. They can offer to take care of our family. I would never join you, motherfucker. I would never join the cowards who condemn Hamas. I would never join polite liberal society. I'd rather live as an outlaw. I'd rather be suppressed. I'd rather be banned from corporate media. I don't want to be invited on CNN like Emma Vigeland and TYT Left. Fuck that. I don't want any part of the disgusting society. I want to be the one who's fighting it. All right, man. What the fuck? We doing another 2-hour stream tonight, huh? Yeah, Chai. And if you guys are just watching now, these are the people who vote. These are registered voters. So it's not accurate to say these are the opinions of every American people, but these are the people who are dumb enough to vote red or blue every year. The reason why 88 million Americans don't vote for either of these parties is because we find these policies reprehensible. This is a point that many people miss out. I think it's important to make this conclusion, not to defend the American people. Like, I'm not trying to defend the American people. The reason why I make this point is to highlight to the world how we live in a capitalist dictatorship. This idea that we are a democracy where the ideas of the American people are reflected in their government, it is not true. Oh my God, I really hope Rathbone is man, I really hope that shit. I really hope it's only like a day ban at best. Zoya, I know I told you I probably don't need you, but I might. I don't know. Zoya, you there? I wasn't planning on a long stream tonight, so she might not be. But let's continue this. Within the same framework, I only made it one page. Well, we only made it one page to this letter. But once again, I'm reading all of this motherfucker, guys. Let's detox our soul. This letter is incredible. In this letter, do you guys see the fucking numbers? Holy shit. Dude, 8.1 million views already, nearly 100,000 likes. So I think this letter is a letter that not necessarily Americans are reading, but people are reading around the world. So let's continue this. Now, I think this is another reason why we should read the entire letter, because this letter was just released and is already doing massive numbers. And this letter, if it's hidden in the United States society, and it will be, like the corporate media won't talk about this at all, but you guys want to know who's talking about this? People in China. I bet you Chinese corporate media is going to read this letter. Russian state media is going to read this letter. People in Africa is going to read this letter. The global majority is going to read this letter, even if Americans put their head in the sand. So let's continue with this letter. Within the same framework, the United States has concentrated the largest number of forces, bases, and military capacities around Iran, a country that, at least since the founding of the United States, has never initiated a war. Recent American aggressions launched from these very bases have demonstrated how threatening such a military presence truly is. Naturally, no country confronted with such conditions will forgo strengthening its defensive capabilities. What Iran has done and continues to do. What a great letter this is. What Iran continues to do is a measured response to grounded in legitimate self-defense and by no means an initiation of war or aggression. Relations between Iran and the United States were not originally hostile. Oh, this is probably such a great point. And early interactions between Iranian and American people were not marred with hostility or coup d'etat. An illegal American 1953 tension. I think I misread. Let me read that again. Sorry, let me read that part again. Relations between Iran and the United States were not originally hostile, and early interactions between Iranian and American people were not marred with hostility or the coup d'etat. Oh, he's saying that we used to get along before you guys started a coup in our motherfucking country. The turning point, however, was an intervention aimed at preventing the nationalization of Iran's own resources. That coup disrupted Iran's democratic process, reinstated dictatorship, and sowed deep distrust among Iranians toward United States policies. This is what every single anti-imperialist, this is what every single Marxist, this is what we've been explaining to dipshit Americans for years now. But you guys see how everyone in Iran knows this? Everyone knows this. It's only Americans who believe that Iran chants death to America for no reason. This distrust deepened further with America's support for the Shah's regime. It's backing of Saddam Hussein during the imposed war of the 1980s. The imposition of the longest and most comprehensive sanctions in modern history, and ultimately unprovoked military aggression twice in the midst of negotiations against Iran. So essentially, he's saying, bro, we got every motherfucking reason to hate you motherfuckers. We just don't anyway. We're just defending ourselves. There's no way that anyone in the United States media will ever cover this letter. This letter, only 2 pages in, is an absolutely devastating rebuke of everything Donald Trump just said. Thank God I decided to read this after we watched that bullshit. Everything Donald Trump just said is being utterly dismantled by this letter by Iran. Yet all these pressures has failed to weaken Iran. Talk your shit, brother. On the contrary, the country has grown before the Islamic revolution, I think they're supposed to say there. 30% stronger in many areas. Literacy rates has tripled, while the United States declines, by the way. From roughly today, higher education has expanded dramatically. Significant 90% revolution. I think there's some typos in here. I see some typos. Significant 90% revolution to over advances have been achieved in modern technology. Healthcare services have improved. Infrastructure has developed at a pace and scale incomparable to the past. These are measurable, observable realities that stand independent of fabricated narratives. So essentially, this motherfucker like, you guys can talk all the shit you guys want, but the results speak for ourselves. Meanwhile, Western feminists, they hate Iran because despite educating their women, providing health care to their women, and a high quality of life, they don't allow the women to create an OnlyFans account. So that's why we're allowed to hate this country, according to shitlibs, at least. Because you guys know the empire, they message their talking points differently, depending, right? All right, sorry, I had just 1 second. Let's continue. Whew. I had to blow my nose. It's a lot of talking. We're on 2 hours in of this very therapeutic rant stream. I love my brother Rathbone. Rathbone's incredible. We did our first hour with Rathbone. Unfortunately, he had his YouTube ban midstream. So we're just spitting alone right now for now. But I'm glad I'm able to. 'Cause I think reading this letter is better to do solo, or it would just been Rathbone watching me read. So I think this segment is actually better as a solo segment anyway. Let's continue. At the same time, the destructive and inhumane impacts of sanctions, war, and aggression on the lives of the resilient Iranian people must not be underestimated. The continuation of military aggression and recent bombings profoundly affect people's lives, attitudes, and perspectives. This reflects a fundamental human truth. When war afflicts irreparable harm on lives, cities, homes, futures, people will not remain indifferent towards those responsible. The fact that he had to explain this to Americans like they're fucking children. Like, let me pause here. I'm sorry, there's so much thoughts I have reading this. The fact that Americans have to be explained this. Hey guys, the fact that you guys keep sanctioning our country and dismantling our quality of life, it kind of leads to us to having being upset at what you guys. It make us upset when you guys inflict sanctions on us. The fact that they have to explain this to Americans like they're fucking toddlers. What does that say? And what does this letter reveal about the deplorable Iranian diaspora who oppose these obviously reasonable people and lie about these people, and they want these great people to be murdered simply because they deny them their Shah dictatorship? I told you I joked with this before, but I'm almost not joking. If I fucking run, I'm running on deporting the Iranian traitors. Like, people on the left gonna be mad. Like, don't you know Nick running on the deportation agenda? You goddamn right. I want to deport every single Iranian diaspora member who support war against them. I want to deport the Cubans. I want to deport the Venezuela diaspora so they can face justice for what they advocated for. I guess that's probably my most problematic position. That's probably my most problematic position. But I think they should face justice back at home. You know that whore that was shaking her hips? They're dancing, yay, our people being bombed. Fuck. Oh my god, dude. I gotta be Iran. I was about to say what I wanted to do to them, but actually that's on the Iranian people. But let's finish the letter. We're gonna finish the letter. I don't give a fuck how long this segment takes to do. I'm gonna cut this segment later for a clip anyway. So let's continue. This raises a fundamental question. Exactly which of the American people interests are truly being served by this war? Oh, they cooking. Oh, they about to cook for real. They about to cook for real right now. Which of the Americans' people interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? There's a massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment, pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country back to the Stone Ages. They're quoting Donald Trump here and Pete Hegseth. Does that serve any purpose other than further damaging the United States global standing? So essentially the Iranian president, like, bro, do you guys care at all about what people think about you? Or are you guys simply barbarians? I'm his anger translator. If you guys seen that Key and Peele segment, I'm serving in this segment almost as the anger translator for the president. So in this paragraph, the Iranian president, like, bro, do you guys have no shame? Do you not care that we hate you all? That the world hates you for what you are doing? Iran pursued negotiations, reached an agreement, it fulfilled all of its commitments. The decision to withdraw from that agreement, escalate towards confrontation, and launch 2 acts of aggression in midst of negotiation were destructive choices made by the United States government. Choices that served the delusions of a foreign aggressor. Can you imagine? Like, the American people already are against this war. 75% of the American people are against this war. Can you imagine how much worse that number will be for Donald Trump if every single corporate media channel was forced to read this letter? Can you imagine if MSNBC just read this letter? I think even if Fox News boom, I would even go that far. I would even go so far that if this letter was read on Fox News, there would be not a significant, but there would be a percentage of the viewers that'd be like, hold up. Wait, what? But they won't show you this. This is why I say the United States is the most propagandized people in the world. This is why I implore people to read the speeches of Putin. How much he loved the Russian people. And then Americans are confused about why Russians support Putin. Read the speeches by Xi Jinping. Don't listen to what these American racist assholes say about their enemies. When you listen to speeches by Xi Jinping and Putin, it's nothing but an unbelievable love for their people. They're not talking about who they're going to bomb next. They're like, hey, we need to build this project up. We have a new idea for this. We're going to do that. And we're going to fix this problem. But Americans hate other countries, and even the United States leftists, they despise China and Iran because they never actually listen to what our enemies are saying. That's why it's extremely important for me to read this letter for you guys and any new viewers, even if it takes a little bit. This is actually good for my soul to read this, because I'll be reading this if I was offline anyway. What'd I leave off? Attacking Iran's vital infrastructure, including energy and industrial facilities, directly targets the Iranian people. Beyond constituting a war crime, such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's border. Once again, the fact that he had to talk to Americans like they're dumb toddlers and explain this to them is insane. It's insane. I expected, well, I don't know what I expected, to be honest, but the fact that he had to break down these basic principles for the American people, maybe I thought this letter would be more in the weeds. But this is like, no, guys, this letter is essentially the Iranian president like, man, do you guys know anything about what's going on? All right, let me continue with the letter. I'm sorry. This letter is just very thought-provoking for me. You guys know I'm a nerd. I am loving every fucking second of this, you guys can tell. Beyond constituting a war crime, such action carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. They generate instability, increase human and economic costs, and perpetuate cycles of tension, planting seeds of resentment that will endure for years. This is not a demonstration of strength. It is a sign of bewilderment and an inability to achieve a sustainable solution. This is what I've been explaining to you guys. The Iranian people are hurting, but that's not a sign that Iran is losing. The fact that the United States have to engage in terrorism as they wage this war against the Iranian people is evidence that they're failures. That's the same reason why we had to engage in terrorism in the Middle East. The same reason we burned down villages in Vietnam. Look at the atrocities that we committed against the Korean and Vietnamese people. We used chemical warfare in a desperate bid to defeat North Korea. Whenever the United States Empire and the Epstein class are losing a conflict, that's when they start committing war crimes and genocide. Then they turn around to the deranged American people and say, hey, look at all these war crimes we're committing. Look at all the death and destruction that we are inflicting on these people. Doesn't that show that we're winning? Absolutely deranged culture that works, because the speech that we showed before reading this letter, the Donald Trump announcement speech, was essentially Donald Trump reassuring his supporters about this war, because he's like, hey guys, look at how much death and destruction I'm spreading. Look at how many people we're killing. But the Iranian president mentioned how that's not even a victory for you guys. What you're doing is harming the entirety of humanity. Let's continue. It is not also the case, it is not also the case that America has entered this aggression as a proxy for Israel, influenced and manipulated by that regime. Is it not true that Israel, by manufacturing an Iranian threat, seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes towards the Palestinians? So it's wild that we've been covering this for about 30 to 40 minutes now, and they just now get into Israel. Like, they didn't even have to use Israel as a cheap trick to get the American people on their side. They made a coherent argument using history, facts, and logic, dismantling the American position. And then they were like, oh yeah, let's now cover Israel. You know, the easy argument to make. I actually thought it would lead with this part. Is it not true that this was influenced by Israel? Is it not true that Israel, by manufacturing an Iranian threat, seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes towards the Palestinians? Is it not evident that Israel now aims to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American taxpayer dollar, shifting the burden of its delusions onto Iran, the region, and the United States itself in its pursuit of illegitimate interests? Is America first truly among the priorities of the United States government today? This motherfucker cooking. This motherfucker's in the lab cooking. Bro, I'm going to just repeat it. Bro, if they read this letter, if this letter was required reading for the American people, we damn near have a third party ready to be deployed. It's a shame that there's only a fraction of the American people that's going to read this letter. The Arabian homies. The best we can do is affect the minds and the communities around us. So everyone who I'm around, the Arabian community, we're going to know about the existence of this letter. But this letter, this 4-page letter, is probably one of the most devastating takedowns and breakdowns against not only Donald Trump's speech, but United States imperialism and their ideology that they have regarding geopolitics in general. What a devastating letter. Let's continue. Is America first truly among the priorities of the United States government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation, an integral part of this aggression, and instead speak with those who have visited Iran, observed the many accomplished Iranian immigrants, educated in Iran, who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities, or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these reality align with the distortions that you're being told about Iran and its people? Get these niggas, man. Stun on these hoes, Iran. Stunning on these motherfuckers. Last paragraph. Today, the world stands at crossroads. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. The choice between confrontation and engagement is both real and consequential. Its outcome will shape the future of generations to come. Throughout its millennia of proud history, Iran has outlasted many aggressors. All that remains of them are the tarnished names in history, while Iran endures, resilient, dignified, and proud. What a fantastic letter that is. And I stand unapologetically with the Iranian people. Fuck Dr. Cornel West. Fuck any NATO leftist scumbag who repeated a lie, empire lies about these amazing people. So I end the segment. This is my response because this tweet is going mega viral. And I reiterate this. I want to pay any price, make any sacrifice to make sure that these people survive this act of aggression. This is the least we can do as Americans. I said, as an American, I'm here to let you know that I'm 100% willing to pay more in gas if it means finally ending the Zionist regime. So I think that's a good way to end the segment. That was one long one, wasn't it? I'm definitely going to be cutting that one. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. And make sure you guys support my labor because I actually was only planning to go 1 hour with Rathbone. You guys know that, right? I was only planning on going 1 hour, but I like, fuck it. Play that. Oh, this would be a good time to play that banger. Dude, I need to play that. I need to find it. What the fuck is it? I don't know if I can find it in time. I got too many receipts. Oh, what kind of fucking search? Man, damn, I'm pissed because that actually would have been a great thing to play. That would have been a great thing to play to end the stream. What a missed opportunity. To end that segment. The segment is already over. I wish I would play that fucking video. Sorry, I'm just quickly searching to see if I can find this video. Because I love that fucking video. I'm down. If you guys want to fucking see, I see anyone in the chat like, hell yeah. I don't know if I can find it though. Fuck. Wait, is this it? Oh, let's go. Let's go. I'll find it. Base Day Squirrel. So we're going to end it on this song for sure. Let's read some super chats. We love our Iranian brothers and sisters, right? We stand in support of our Iranian brothers and sisters, right? Let me read a few these comments, and we were going to end it on this Iranian banger. Doing my part so you don't have to do outlaw shit. Thank you, my friends. If you've been enjoying this stream, once again, 2 hours rant stream. Make sure you support me on Patreon. Share the stream. Support my labor because it's actually a lot of labor. I'm already exhausted, but I'm gonna eat dinner. I'm gonna pass out after these streams. They actually take ranting for 2 hours actually takes a lot of fucking energy and effort. I'll be exhausted after these streams, man. So make sure you guys support my labor. It's a lot of hard work, and I hope I taught you guys something. I appreciate all the support. We are just a working class channel here, guys. Anything will help. Will they actually hit all Iran's power plant? What then? How will Iran still keep up the resistance? Who will help them? If they did that, it would be horrific for all of humanity because Iran would hit the distillation plants. That would lead possibly to a massive famine, dehydration in the Middle East. Like if that happened, like not only would Iran lose, but all of humanity will lose. You know what I mean? So yeah, I pray that doesn't happen, but we're dealing with crazy assholes who would nuke the planet if it means preventing their loss in this war. I love you too, man. I see some chats in the side here. I love you too. I love all of you guys. Thank you guys. Time to roll up. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed that blunt as you was watching because it was an older. This chat was sent like 40 minutes ago. So you know this man rolled up. He was kicked back. He was watching us. He was watching me read the Iranian letter. I'm honored, man. See, once again, I don't need thousands and thousands of live viewers. But if I got homies rolling up, smoking a blunt, listening to me speech about geopolitics, what else can I ask for, my friends? Big shout out to this guy here. I actually don't mind if you guys email me. We used to have an email link. This is my business email. So yeah, this is an email I don't mind sharing because it's literally my fucking name. Like it's not like it's a hidden email. It's my fucking name. So if you guys want to email me I wanted to do this before, but any inquiries. We also want to recruit new RBN members eventually. We're gonna have a rigorous process to determine people who are actually Marxists. There's going to be no revolutionary adventurism. There's not going to be the ideological diversity that plagued the older RBN. So I actually do plan on, we're going to recruit more RBN members. We're going to have writers. RBN is kind of in, what's the word I'm looking for? Hiatus. Not necessarily the word I'm looking for, but I think that's close enough. RBN is kind of on hiatus, but we have a lot of plans planned. Like Rome, he's working on a lot of stuff right now. We got new T-shirts that we're designing. We have a store that actually just released. We need to get the link. We got new shirts that we got a lot of plans for RBN. So if you guys want to be part of that, RBN is not a movement just for black leftists anymore. It's a communist movement. It's a communist party. And we are accepting members of all races. The only requirement is that you have to be a communist. Like if you're not a communist and you're a fan of my work, we deeply appreciate you, but we can't have ideological diversity in RBN no more. We need a clear vision. We need to be a movement rooted in theory, and no wavering on Marxist ideology. That's what I want to build. So if you want to be part of that, You guys can email us. We got a lot of plans for later this year. Just to answer your question here. Thank you for the super sticker, Crazy Lovac. Please support each other. It will be a bumpy ride, but we're getting there. I think I read the super chat already, but thank you so much. Make sure you guys support Rathbone because he's going through some show on his YouTube channel right now. Man, that's fucked up. I hope they don't get my stream later. That after I might leave the stream, they might pull I might get in trouble later. But I got a lot of good clips for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. There was another mega show. We had a 2-hour stream on Wednesday, 2-hour stream on Monday. Excuse me. So we have a lot of content. I'm gonna be back in the lab tomorrow morning making another hotspot video. I had a hotspot video that I just released tonight that you guys haven't seen yet. I just released it right before I went live today. So I'm always in the lab cooking, whether I'm live on YouTube or not. So I'm gonna take some time to edit some videos. Midwestern Marks is gonna join us next Friday. I was about to have on this week, but we're gonna move them back to next Friday. Midwestern Mark join us next Friday. I'm blanking. Huh? The Bush Ware. Sorry, I'm fucking dead. Bush Ware. He run for governor in California. He's gonna join in like 2 weeks. Who else? We have a lot of shit going on, man. I'm blanking on all, but either way, stay tuned for announcement. Hit the bell so you don't miss any shows. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.